Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In the last video we took Stevo out for the first time after all that work that was done, and we got to see a little glimpse of what Stevo is capable of. Now while the car drives really good, I fixed the stalling issue. Simply had to rescale the math in the map, and then I obviously had to correct some of the fuel tables. But yeah, managed to fix the spluttering and the conking out issue, which I did mention in that video. So now it drives almost as good as standard, to be honest. So we're really happy with that. But obviously we're only boosting to 16 psi. Now when we make more power and we squeeze more air in and turn the boost up, well, we're going to have to match that with more fuel. Now there is a limit actually to how fast those injectors can force feed air into the engine, and that is why I've got some ID1050 injectors. Now obviously these have been supplied by Rossport, as with almost all of my Evo parts. I get them all from Rossport, and these are ID1050cc injectors. So roughly they have about double the flow rate of the standard injectors. If we think about it logically, if we put injectors in that are twice the size, the AFRs are going to be all wrong. The car's going to flood, could even bore wash if we try to drive it with those big injectors in. So we've actually got to go into the ECU and tell the car that we're running big injectors. So I'll be showing you how to do that as well towards the end of the video. But let's go over to Stevo, whip out those standard injectors and put in these nice ID1050s. Okay, so we got the injectors out. Here's the fuel rail. Decided to take that out as well. You can't really see what's going on in there, so you could just pull the injectors out and squeeze them in, but I would have missed the fact that there's O-rings in there, and when I go to start it up I'd be wondering why there's fuel squirting everywhere. So good thing to take it off. So I'm going to pick them out now and then clean them up, and then I'll fit the upgraded injectors to the rail. Now before we put the rail back in, you want to make sure you put the clips back on, and they need to be clicked into the little groove, and then there's a little tab on the side. So make sure they're all in properly before you go sticking the rail back in. We're going to be turning the key. We're not going to start it, because if we do it's just going to flood. And then we're going to take a look and see if there's any leaks. No, I think it's pretty good. I could hear a couple of funny noises, but I think it's just pushing air through the rail. So yeah, the injectors are in. Now we just got to tell the ECU that they're in. Okay, so I've got my maps on saved on a folder, and I've written a little change log as well. So if I open that, every time I edit something, I'll write down exactly what was changed. So if I make a mistake, I can just go back to previous map and yeah, work from there. So I put a little change log in for edit 4, and that is going to be telling the map that there's 1050cc injectors in there. Now we could just put the injectors in the boot of the car and, you know, expect the mapper to do it, but I'm not really one to you know, want to distract them from mapping. The more things I leave for them, the less time they've got to spend concentrating on the remap. At least that's my theory. So if I can help and get, you know, little changes like this done, or I can fit the injectors and drive up rather than, you know, them having to fit them, then it just makes life a bit easier for them, and yeah, we learn something in the process. Okay, so you should be seeing what I can see on my little laptop now. I'm going to go to ECU flash. Okay, so ECU flash is open. I've already got the map off the car saved on the computer, so we're going to open row and edit 3, which is the map on the car. Then we're simply going to go down, look to the fueling area, fuel injector scaling, and it's currently at 532 cc. I'm just going to change it. I'm going to press equals, D equals 1050. So I've changed it to, where we are, 1044. So you can't just put any number in. I think it goes up in steps. So that's a good starting point. They are 1050 cc injectors. So, you know, we start at 1044, it's pretty close. I probably won't change the scaling, but the mapper might choose to change it for reasons that I don't understand. But basically, the car should start now if we save this map and then flash it to the car. So I'm happy with that. As you can see down here, fuel injector scaling is purple, so it shows that there has been a change made to that area. And then I'm going to basically save it now here as Rowan Edit 4. In this little text document, I've already put a note in saying on Edit 4, the only change I made was changing the injector scaling. So if it doesn't work, I know I can go back to Edit 3. So there we are, that's saved. So that's saved. Now all I have to do is flash the map over to the car. So let's go over to Steve-O. So I got quite a thing for switches. So I've got a switch on all my gauges, my wideband and the fuel pump. So I can turn them off now. And if I want to put the ignition on, I'm not going to be draining the battery really fast. So we've got the correct ROM loaded. I'm going to flash it now over to the car. Okay, so the map is now on the car. We've just told it that there's 1050 cc injectors in there. You are supposed to change things like voltage scaling, things like that. There are recommended settings on Injector Dynamics website, but I'm not planning on mapping this car at the moment. I'm more thinking of just giving myself less work to do when I'm at the mapper, so I haven't got to come early and fit some injectors in the car park. If I can get the AFRs roughly where they need to be, just so I can drive up the motorway, then happy days. So that's pretty much the goal. We can look at the wideband on the dash, so we can see what they are doing, if it's lean or if it's rich, and then maybe we might have to make a couple of adjustments, but whatever the case, it's not going to be rocket science. Okay, so we just squeezed in the car. We're going to turn the fuel pump on and also the wideband, and hopefully it starts up. That sounds good. I'm just going to get out and triple check there's no leaks. Up now, but the idle's a little high because we're running cams. We gotta run about 1000 RPM idle. If we look at the wideband, it's hovering around 14.7, so AFRs are pretty much spot on. So as you can see, the AFRs are spot on. We're gonna have to take it out. I'll give it a check just to make sure it's not lean when I actually get up and running, but I think from now, I'm probably not going to be putting my foot down too much. I'll be just taking it straight to the mappers now. Still waiting on a couple more bits and bobs, intercooler and a couple of little things like that. And once we fit them parts, then we will be getting it mapped and cranked up. So Be sure to subscribe if you're enjoying the content on Stevo. Be sure to like the video and let me know what you think down below of the build in the comments. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys.